The first question that was asked is why we removed 100 billion provision for Mambila power project. I understand you said that this was indicated by the Ministry of Power. So let me just inform this meeting that the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, based on the MTEF that you have passed, put in the core circular the budget size or ceiling for every ministry, department, and agency. And they're expected to now do their budget within that ceiling. The details of the budget is uploaded by each ministry using the GIFMIS platform. So it's not provided by the Ministry of Finance. We provide the guidance of the ceilings. We monitor to make sure that the ceilings are not exceeded, but they provide the line-by-line details. So the ministers and the agencies know what their priorities are, and they're the ones to indicate. So if the Minister of Power didn't have Mambila in their submission, it is because they didn't provide it. We do not provide the programs that go into the budget for the ministries. That's their responsibility. Secondly,
so if I understand what you said,
yes,
the Minister of Power did not see Mambila as a priority, and that's why it is not included in their budget, in their presentation.
We can provide to you what the input that they have made.
We will appreciate
in the process of the budget, after the circular, they will submit the budget. We review, we do a budget defense process, and then they take our observations, and then they now update what they submitted. So we're not the ones that do the inputs in the budget. So the good thing is that GIFMIS is a automation platform. It has an audit trail. At any point in time, you will see who has done what activity. So I don't know whether the Minister of Power didn't understand what the process was, and that's why he was making that claim. On the police service reforms, the review of the police service reforms we know is ongoing by the National Salaries and Wages Commission, and we've actually contemplated this as well. And what we're hoping is that the review will be completed quickly enough so that while the appropriation process is going on, that the revised salaries are included in the 2021 appropriation. If it's not completed, then we'll have to contemplate doing an amendment or a supplementary, but I do hope that we'll be able to push the Wages Commission to be able to complete this quickly so that it is taken on into the 2021 budget while the process is still going on. And on the question on what mechanisms do we have in place to ensure that provisions that are made in the budget reach the citizen, we have, from the ministry's perspective, a National Monitoring and Evaluation Department. We also have a budget department that has a monitoring and evaluation function. But the real responsibility of monitoring the implementation of the project on a day-to-day basis is that of the project owner. Because our own monitoring is periodic. Just like the National Assembly oversight is periodic, our own monitoring is also periodic. So the National Social Investment Program, for example, has a monitoring component, a unit that is responsible for monitoring all the 4 clusters on a continuous basis, and we all have a collective responsibility to make sure that the programs work as designed. On the question about the youth programs, I know that the current Minister of Youth and Sports has been working collaboratively with several agencies. So the last time we did our ministerial performance report, he had shown collaboration with about 7 different ministries that is working. There is no agency in government today that has any major program that it implements from end to end. There always has to be some collaboration. Recently, the Federal Executive Council approved a new National Youth Investment Fund, a fund of 75 billion naira, out of which we have provided 25 billion for the first year in the 2021 budget, and we've also been mandated to raise part of the funds to start the program in 2020. So at least 12.5 of that will be provided in 2020. The ministry collaborates with communications and digital economy, with women affairs, with trade and investment, even with finance, and with the central bank and several other ministries. Over time, maybe these things will all come together and we can evolve into designing collectively. Because right now what we're just trying to do is to just implement together. But if we design together and implement together, then we will reach the goal of being able to better provide for our youth. On the current protest that is going on across the country and the information that my sister, the Honorable, has provided that there are vacancies all across institutions. Yes, it might be so, but I haven't got the data, that is one. Secondly, the directive we have is to implement the Orosanya report, which means downsize the size of government. When COVID-19 happened, we have also been directed to stop employments. Why? Because we are not able to keep paying even the current size of salaries that we have. So when you look closely at the budget performance report, you'll find that our average monthly revenues is taken over completely by salaries and pensions. And in good months, maybe it pays part of the overhead. So while it is desirable to employ more people into the service, you have to make sure that you're able to pay the salary, not just this month, but on a sustainable basis. What we're doing, on the other hand, by creating different pockets of funds for youth, for small, medium-sized enterprises, is to create entrepreneurs of our people so that they own their businesses, run them on a manner that is successful and sustainable, and employ people. Government cannot and should not continue to be the largest employer of labor. We must collectively work together to develop the small, medium enterprises. That is the only way in which our economy can grow in a manner that is sustainable. Thank you, Mr. Honorable Chairman.
Chairman.